Hello. I wanted to weigh in on a debate I'm sick of hearing about. And I realize my opinion isn't the expert opinion and isn't the end all be all or anything like that. But it's something I want to go on a rant about. And where's the best place to rant except on a video I post on the internet? You know. Basically, I'm tired of hearing about what I'm gonna call the kiss coma for the purposes of this. What this refers to is the Disney-fied versions of fairy tales. The two specifics that come to mind are Snow White and obviously Sleeping Beauty, where everyone says, oh, it's so creepy that the prince kisses her when she can't consent. Okay, now I'm gonna give you Snow White. Because this prince, he's interacted with her once, and although she expresses being in love, she's a teenager. That's what teenagers do. And although he's flirty with her, flirty does not mean that you see someone as a true love. Now, I admit, like, if I had had a similar interaction with someone and I came upon the realization that she was dead and in a coffin, I'd be like, wow, this is tragic. And I would sit and pay my respects. But I certainly wouldn't sit there and kiss what I think is a dead body. At least not on the lips. So he comes upon what he thinks is a dead woman and just kisses her on the lips to say goodbye. I'll give some grace to the Once Upon a Time version because they actually do have an established romantic past. So even though I still think it's incredibly gross, like, I feel like if I'd go anywhere for, like, a kiss, it would be, like, the forehead or something. I mean, it's just, there's a lot that happens to the body, you know? But at least that I can more understand. So, Snow White, but let's get into Sleeping Beauty itself. Now, here, I would argue it's an act of resuscitation, and I'll explain the difference in that. So, once upon a time, I had some basic training in human first aid. I mean, very basic. Like, they do symposiums and stuff to learn CPR and to have some basic first aid so you can be ready in emergencies, which I definitely need to re-up. And if you don't have yours, I strongly encourage it, because if you prepare for the worst doesn't happen. Oh, I just saw my face and I looked exactly like my dad when I said that. Okay. Okay, well, you know what? There are worse people I could look like. Anyway, so the Good Samaritan law, if you're familiar with it, covers protection of someone who comes upon an emergency situation and helps. We usually think of it in terms of, like, if you have to give chest compressions or something, that the person can't sue you for breaking their ribs or what have you. And the thing to note is this Good Samaritan law also covers a handful of situations, including this type of situation where, let's say, you've literally been told you don't have consent. So you're near someone, you may or may not even know them, and you recognize that they're having a medical emergency, but they're still conscious and responsive, and for whatever reason are stubbornly saying, I don't want your help, don't touch me. So you choose to stay back and not touch them, because in that moment, you do have to respect their consent. If they're able to consent, then you have to not touch them. But if you choose to hang out because you see that it's about to get really bad, and then suddenly they lose consciousness or have, like, a cardiac event or something, now you're legally able to step in and help. The law says they've changed their minds. The law says that now if you've been standing there and you don't at least call, emergency services, that that now you've kind of failed them, So that's important to note, because that's a situation where you've explicitly been told no, but because they're in danger, you're ready to come upon them. And that's important, because the more likely thing that happens is if you have any kind of training, is a lot of times you come upon a situation or people call you to a situation because they know you know what to do. So this is a situation where the person who needs your help isn't gonna even be able to tell you they need help. So, they're out. So other people are getting help for them. So this to me is Sleeping Beauty. And the reason I see it that way is because Philip knows she's cursed. Prince Philip knows she's cursed. This is not a secret. He's literally being kept prisoner. Maleficent explains it to him the way all supervillains do. 3 fairies help him fight her off when she turns into dragon form. And again, they have only had one interaction, but he's already in love. Like, he was willing to risk giving up his whole family and his kingdom and everything because he's met some girl in the woods. But, it's kind of implied. I don't know if it's like spelled out, but it seems like he would figure out by this point, oh, actually the girl in the woods is Aurora, the one you're betrothed to. So if I were him, even now, as a 37-year-old woman, if I were him in a situation like this, I'd be thinking, God, maybe this is fate. That, we've been betrothed this whole time, and the first time we interact, like, I'm kind of ready to give up everything for this woman. So I cannot blame him in this situation, because not only does he see himself as being truly in love with her, but so does Maleficent, who put the curse on him, and so do the fairies, who were like, oh, we gotta save everyone. So he knows there's this curse, and she's gonna be sleeping forever until her true love kisses her. So I would argue, in his case, it's an act of resuscitation. Just gonna put that out there. And I mean, here's the thing. Assuming I lived in a world where this kind of magic existed. Now, look, I'm not saying people are lining up to kiss me or anything, although you should. I've heard I'm pretty good at it. Anyway, I'm not saying people are lining up to kiss me or anything, but if I were in this magical world and I got cursed and you knew it was a kiss coma and that, I needed true love's kiss, pucker up. All right, y'all better, I don't care if there's a line around the neighborhood. I don't care how many people have to kiss me until someone's able to get a true love's kiss going. I mean, family member, friends, crushes I had from junior high, neighborhood dogs. I mean, if you can get in touch with any of my celebrity crushes, please do. I'm sure at least one of them is bound to be like, all right, I'll help, But if I'm not going to wake up and be like, oh, God, you kissed me. I'm going to wake up and be like, oh, thank God you broke the spell. Now, I mean, for the record, not that I expect magic to happen or anything, but I mean, with the way things are going, nothing would surprise me anymore. So for the record, if I am put in a kiss coma, get my cat. It's going to be kind of anticlimactic. But he's probably going to give me, a little lick on the finger or even, on my nose or something to say, Mommy, wake up and feed me or pet me. But he still is probably the one who loves me the most. So I'm 100% sure that if I ever go into a kiss coma, get my cat. But my second call would be my mom. I think my mom could totally do the subversion of, what we see in movies like Frozen or Maleficent, where Maleficent, the true love's kiss, is a motherly kiss on the forehead, which, spoiler alert, but I mean, these are really old movies. Or Frozen, where the act of true love is Anna saving her sister. But, so my second bet would be get my mom, but for real, get my cat. But again, if they don't work and it's okay, I guess they mean romantic love, pucker up. All right, if you've been harboring a secret crush on me or anything, you have my consent. All right, so that's my opinion on the kiss coma. If you know someone's in a kiss coma and you feel like you truly love them in a way that may count you as true love's kiss, kiss them.